Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert, working with educational institutions and companies, helping them support their family wellbeing challenges. As you know, every week I interview different experts who make a difference. And today I'm super excited to be interviewing Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
Hello, how are you? All right?
Yes, good. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the first thing is, the only reason I came on is because it's yellow. So, it's all yellow, isn't it? So yeah, what I do, I give people a voice on LinkedIn. So many people want them to know about their business, about what they do, and they're absolutely frightened to do anything, and so they don't know what to do, and I give them a voice. So that's what I do. I teach people how to use LinkedIn, all in just 15 minutes a day.
Amazing. That sounds brilliant. I love the micro habits anyway. So you chose the title for today, How to Stand Out on LinkedIn. So can you tell us a bit about why you chose that for today? I know you've said it, but
yeah. Well, the thing is, right, people don't know how to stand out on LinkedIn. They just go on and do what everyone else is doing. And we need to stand out. We need to be different. There's an awful lot of noise there. And there's lots of posts that I keep seeing. Oh, the numbers are down. The numbers are down. But if you stand out, then people are going to see you whether the numbers are down or up or doing whatever. And the key things to stand out, first one is consistency. Because, you've got to do it every single day.
Every day, not like a few times a week, every single day.
Showing up. I'm not saying create content.
Okay.
Less than 5% of people actually create content on LinkedIn. So if you create one post a week, you are better than 95% of people on the platform. Okay. So that's creating one post a week. All right. But what you need to do, and this is the key, Jasmine, is going on every single day and showing up. Think of LinkedIn as a networking event. Okay. Do you go to networking events, Jasmine?
I'm having a little break from those, but yeah, I have been to.
You have been. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you agree that if you went to a networking event every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, you would get business?
Yeah, but I might be burnt out as well.
Of course you'll be burnt out and your car will have no tires left. But
of course, yes.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Of course. All right. I met a guy yesterday at a networking event. I went to a networking event yesterday, right? And I met a guy that had driven from North Devon, and we were in Exeter. An hour and a half it took him to get there. Okay.
Wow.
He was there for 2 hours and he had to drive an hour and a half back home.
Oh no.
So that guy spent 3 hours, I don't know, doing that. But if you're listening on the podcast, I'm steering a car. But he might have phoned a couple of people hands-free. Of course, he might have listened to a podcast, but really he couldn't have done much else. Okay. And he spent 2 hours at the networking event. Okay. How many conversations did this guy have at the networking event?
He probably made many. The most I would have thought he made the most of it if he traveled all that way.
Yeah, he would do, but he's not going to be able to talk to everybody, is he? There is no way that he would have been able to speak to everybody.
How many people were at the event? Was it a big event?
I don't know, 60.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to speak to all of those. But if he'd have spent 5 hours on LinkedIn yesterday, how many people could he have reached? And that's the thing. And if we think of LinkedIn as a networking event rather than social media, all right, then that is how you can stand out on LinkedIn.
That's true. So what do you think people are doing wrong or missing when they post on LinkedIn?
When they post?
Yeah, what people doing wrong, or
most people when they post about stuff, it's I do this service, this is what I do, and it's just the same old.
That's so boring.
Yeah. And there's a lot of companies posting content on LinkedIn. Okay. And so, I'm self-employed. I'm not a company. I'm self-employed. I see all these companies doing that sort of post. So that's what I'm going to do. And you just sound like another company, and they sit there and they get their Canva out and they create this lovely tile that looks
Oh,
like their
no.
business. All right. And then they put that up, and maybe an inspirational quote, but it's all in their business colors. And it just looks like a business quote. So it just looks like a business post. And it's like, and your brain is so used to seeing business posts and doesn't like them, so it scrolls past them. So I'm not making anything of what you've done. Okay. So that's a big mistake that lots of people are doing. They're creating content, which is great.
You're right, but it's all the same. It's all the same.
Absolutely. How do we stand out? Okay.
Yes.
And
what does stand out mean? Yeah.
And it's just coming up with something that's a little bit different, but also something that we can relate to. All right. I've literally just had a lovely chat with a lady that so I if anyone wants to have a quick chat with me, I will do a 10-minute call. And I just had this little chat with this lady, and she's sort of like, oh, I'm not sure what to do and what have you. And then I hear this noise, and she says, oh, I'm sorry, I think he's just woken up. I said, go and get him. It's absolutely fine. All right. And she's picked up this little, I don't know, 12-month-old little thing, baby, I think they call them. And she's there as this little one. I'm saying hello. And I love kids. I'm only teasing. And I said, if you went to a networking meeting, all right, and you'd probably get there and you'd probably look a little bit stressed and you'd probably have a little bit of sick on your top because you were dashing out that. No, come on, we wouldn't think anything less of her, would we? All right, because we've all been there. All right. The thing is, I used to hold my daughter up here, and it all used to go down my back, and I wouldn't even know. And so you go to this networking event, and you're sort of like, oh yeah. I just dropped the baby off. Oh, you got a kid, have you? How old's the kid? And you start talking. Oh my goodness, I've just had one as well. And then you're at this networking event talking about children. All right, not business. All right, not where the next dollar's going to come from. We're talking about children because we've both got children, and therefore we've got a shared experience. Or it could be guitars, or it could be your last holiday, it could be the hot weather. Yesterday I had quite a few chats with guys. There was a few guys there with shorts on. Okay. And I turned around to them when I was talking to them, and I said, why is it acceptable to wear shorts? Big smile, and then look down because they could see that I was wearing shorts as well. Okay. We weren't talking about LinkedIn or accountancy or solicitoring or whatever else business they had. We were just making polite conversation. And that's what we've got to do on LinkedIn as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I went to Scotland a few weeks ago. And have you been to Scotland?
I haven't actually.
Oh, it's a fabulous place. I've been a few times now. But I went up to Glasgow I was invited to go up and do a talk. And they put me up in this lovely hotel, went down for breakfast. And the nice thing about staying in a hotel, you don't have to cook breakfast and you get all of the choices.
Everything.
And so I lifted up the thing, and I try and eat healthily. So there's some tomatoes and some mushrooms, put those on my plate. And then, wow, is that haggis? And there's black pudding there. I love black pudding. And I said, wow, is that haggis? And there was this lady lifting up the next thing. And she said, aye, and you want to try this? The square sausage. I went, what? Square sausage? And so I had this square sausage, and I was in a bit of a rush. So the next day, I asked the waiter for a big white plate, because they only give you these rubbishy little brown horrible plates. All right. And I asked for this big white plate. All right. And I got my breakfast, and I placed it out neatly on the plate. All right. And then took a photo of it, and I put that on LinkedIn. I had over 200 comments and over 5,000 people viewing that, because people relate to it. All right. How many people do you think commented on there and goes, where's the beans? All right. And then other people were there. Why have you got brown sauce, not red sauce? And it was a conversation.
Yes. But okay, let me ask a question. No, you're absolutely, I can completely believe what you're saying. But okay, so people are commenting and all of that. How does, this might be a stupid question, but how does them commenting, oh, where's the beans and all of this lead to business?
Well, this is the thing, right? How does going to a networking meeting talking about babies lead to business? All right. People buy from people who they know, who they like, and who they trust. Yeah.
True.
Right?
Yes.
And we're going to know more about you, like more about you, and trust you more if we know that you like beans, or you don't like beans, or you're a vegetarian, or you like black pudding, or you've never had hot haggis. Yeah. And it was just a lovely conversation. And that's all it was. And that's what we do as human beings. And we tell stories. And
Connect.
that is it. Yeah. Now that guy that told me off for not having beans, we're probably connected now. Okay. And then he'll do something. And he'll see something from me and he'll go back on, and then we might have a little nose at what I do. Oh, this guy knows a little bit about LinkedIn. I think I'm all right with LinkedIn. But then he's talking to someone else later on today and they say, oh, I've heard that I can get leads off LinkedIn. He said, oh my goodness, you need to speak to the 15-minute guy.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the guy that came in and went, I don't eat haggis. All right. His headline might say something like, we do easy peasy websites for you. All right. Someone seeing that comment and go, oh, this guy does easy peasy websites. I'll go and have a look at him. And before you know it, you've got a website.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not rocket science. It really is not rocket science. It's
really that's the problem. People
just being human.
People make it more complicated than it is, don't they?
Yeah. No, what you do is you have to do this and you have to do that. And you have to post it this time on that day. And oh my goodness, it's just go on LinkedIn as if you're going to a network meeting. All right. And if you go to a network meeting and you talk to people about babies and guitars and breakfast, then so be it. Yeah.
Be yourself.
And we've all met that guy at a networking event that comes up to you and goes, have my business card. Oh, have my business card. Have my business card. Have my business card. That's the guy that's posting on LinkedIn. My business is brilliant. Have this. This is what I do in my business.
Yeah.
We all walk away from that guy, don't we? Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to go and get another cup of tea. And that's what we do at a networking event if we find them a little bit too
it's so true, isn't it? But surely, do you think they never get business then? These people never get business who are doing this? Because why do people keep doing it?
I think if you throw enough muck at the wall, some of it will stick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think what the problem is, Jasmine, as I see it, is we don't have enough patience.
Right? Yes, think quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been running my business now for 4 years, and I'll go into my wife at the end of the day and I'll tell her about that lovely chat I had with baby sick lady. Yeah. And she'll turn around to me and say, yeah, but did you get any business? All right. No, I'm not. She's just started her own business. She's got a little kiddie. She probably bootstrapping her business. She hasn't got the money to pay me for LinkedIn training. But she's going to be telling everybody that she knows that this guy knows so much about LinkedIn and he's really helpful. All right. She might be telling somebody that story who's thinking of jumping into LinkedIn and they've got a big budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
how did you meet her again?
The baby sick lady.
Yeah.
Baby sick lady. She's not really called that.
I know.
But the thing is, right, I was the keynote speaker at BizFest, which is a big event down here in the Southwest. And she was chatting to one of the organizers and she was saying about LinkedIn. And one of the organizers said, oh, my goodness, if you want LinkedIn, you need to speak to this guy.
Oh, okay.
And that's how it works.
Yeah. It is, exactly. Yeah. But how did that even start, the whole thing of you going there? Was that all from a post on LinkedIn?
From BizFest?
Yeah.
How did I get the gig at BizFest? Okay.
Yes.
So I become very good friends with Jamie and Gavin who run BizFest, and we went and had a coffee after the event and talked about it. And I went, how did you get my name? And they said, oh, it was Lisa. All right. Lisa was a lady who one day I sat down with her and helped her with her LinkedIn all for free.
Yes.
All right. Many moons ago. I'm glad you asked me that question because I'm going to tell that story to my wife when we're having our dinner this evening.
Well, exactly, because it's just a chain of events, isn't it? And it doesn't come back 2 years later.
No. Lisa was right at the start of my business.
Wow. Yeah.
I was on her podcast, And when you listen to her introducing me on the podcast, I'm like, oh my goodness, am I really like that? And it was a beautiful podcast. She's a lovely human being. But it's you can see on my t-shirt here my logo, and I'm not sure whether you can read the bottom line, but it says you get out what you put in.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I'm a big firm believer in that.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I am sowing seeds all over the place, and all these flowers are coming up all over the place now. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I love that. And like you said, it's about having patience, because this takes time. This takes time. And you've got to be able to stand the test of time, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, right, I sit here some days and I go, oh, it's not working, is it? Maybe I should go and get a real job. And then I'll get a DM from somebody, or a message from somebody, or, and oh, it's worth doing. Or then someone says, can you be on my podcast? Yeah. So you must be doing something right. And yesterday I had a conversation with somebody. I'm not allowed to say too much, but I've been booked for 2 of their gigs.
Amazing.
Just like that. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. But I guess it's not just like that. You've put the work in. Yes.
Yeah, they've picked me over everybody else because they've seen of my consistency.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. People don't see necessarily everything that goes on behind all the stuff that you have put in, all the things that you have done. They might just see the posts, which of course is still a lot when you're consistent, but there's other stuff as well, isn't there, going on behind the scenes?
Absolutely. And it's all about, and I look at business owners and I think, oh my God, they're doing so well. And then I stop and think, actually, they wrote their book 10 years ago.
Yes.
And what did they do before they wrote their book? So they've probably been in business 15 years.
Yeah.
I still got 11 years to go.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's not nobody does it overnight.
Really? That is what you're led to believe, isn't it? That is what you're led to believe.
I mean, I've probably with you as well, in the 4 years that you've been doing this, you must have seen so many people leave.
Yeah. Loads and loads of people have sort of like, when I first started, there was people doing LinkedIn. And I thought, oh my goodness, I could do that. I know LinkedIn.
Wow.
But because I've been in sales for 30 plus years. All right. I know I don't look old enough, but because I've spoken to you cannot imagine how many companies and people I must have spoken to over the 30 years, selling all kinds of stuff. Right. When I first started my sales career, it was knocking on doors. Okay.
Brilliant.
And we didn't have computers, so it was phoning, and I purchased a typewriter, Jasmine.
Wow.
A proper typewriter. It was an electric one, but I purchased this typewriter because there wasn't any computers back then. And I used to write letters to my customers. All right. And it was an insurance round, and I used to go around and see my customers.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm seeing you on Thursday. All right. And you've got a policy maturing in 6 months' time. I would write you a letter. All right.
Brilliant.
I'd put it in an envelope, and I'd come and see you. Hi, Jasmine, how's everything? How's the kids? How's the dog? How was the holiday? Whatever, because I'm seeing you every month. We've got a great relationship. I've got a really important letter for you. I just want to, and you'll open it up and I'll explain it to you. And then from that, we then go and do some business. All right. So look, next Tuesday evening, can I pop round and we'll talk about that, when whoever's with you, and we'll go through all, and that's how I used to do it. And because I've had all of those conversations, that's how I can help people today.
Nothing's wasted.
Oh my goodness, no, not at all. Even all those years of me being a chef and cutting the guts out of trout.
Everything. Yeah, absolutely. And Edith says, this is an interesting. Hi, Edith. How are you doing? This is an interesting topic. I want to optimize my LinkedIn. Well, you're in the right place, Edith. If you have any questions.
Absolutely. So Edith, connect with me. My name's Ashley Leeds. I'm the 15-minute guy. And I do a free review of your profile. So if you fill out a little form, I'll do a little video, and I'll go on your profile and go, oh, you need to do this with your photo. You need to do this. And then you'll get an idea of what you can be doing.
So if you can fill in the blank, if you want to stand out on LinkedIn, don't
be professional. Be you.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Be you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because because the thing is, right, I don't know about you, Jasmine, but every single morning I jump out of bed, I'm me. I don't have to think who I'm going to be. I don't have to put a mask on or anything like that, or put a suit on. I come and I turn up. So I did this networking event yesterday. All right. It was the second hottest day of the year yesterday, wasn't it? Because the day before was the hottest day so far. So I wore shorts to the networking event because I knew some of the guys would wear shorts. Yeah. And then after that, I was going to do a presentation to a group of students. Okay. And I like shorts or jeans. I don't wear a suit. It's jeans and Converse. Shorts or jeans. I'm me. Me wears shorts when it's sunny. So I did. And I turned up for this event.
Good.
And yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with it. If I had horrible knees or something, maybe I'd hide them from people. But, you know.
Well, you're still being you. So
yeah, absolutely. Do you know how many people moaned about me wearing shorts yesterday?
Exactly.
Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
Naomi says, hi, Naomi. That's great, Ashley. Well, no, absolutely. And you're saying about being yourself on LinkedIn. I think some people might not know how much of themselves they can be, you know, because you say be yourself, but how authentic is enough? Like, you know.
So let's go right back to what I said earlier.
Okay.
Treat it like a networking event. All right. At a networking event, all right, are you going to tell somebody about your deep, dark secrets and all your trauma and all of that you've had? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some people might, you know.
Well, so look, if we got talking about parents and divorce and stuff, I will tell you that you know, my mother left when I was a kid. All right. I was on a podcast quite a while ago now. And, you know, the question started off, how authentic are you? I said, 100%. I'm super authentic. And then he started asking all these questions. And then it got up about my mother, and he was asking me questions about my mother and stuff like that. And there wasn't a line that I turned around. No, I'm not talking about that. It's what makes me me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And anyone listening to this now whose mother walked away is now sort of like thinking, oh God, I know how this guy feels.
Yes.
There's other people listening to this and thinking, why do I want to know that I hate this guy? All right. That's fine. Because do I really want to work with them if they don't get me?
You're right. You can be yourself to attract who. Yeah,
absolutely. And so it's all about, you don't have to share everything. All right. Share what you're comfortable with.
Yes.
All right. And my daughter will not show any photos of the face of her child. All right. And therefore, whenever I'm out with him, I get her to take the photos so I can post them on LinkedIn, me with my grandson, but you wouldn't know who he was. Okay? So I respect that for her.
Yes.
All right. Whereas other people, there's a photo of the wife in the hospital with mascara and a horrible looking face because she's just done 16 hours of labor, and there's this white covered baby and all this goo everywhere, and they're happy to share that, and that's absolutely fine. You're right. It's how far you want to share.
And that's what I love about your answer, because you're not speaking for everybody, are you? It's basically about being yourself, and you got to do what you're comfortable with. And again, it's coming back to the same thing that you said at the beginning. It's not about copying other people. It's about, again, listening to yourself, trusting yourself, and going with what you think's right. And I love that, because I think that's key, isn't it? It's about being yourself and trusting yourself. I guess there are boundaries, but we have to create the boundaries for ourselves, don't we? As long as I always say, as long as I'm not, you know, offending anyone, or not offending anyone, because you could offend somebody even if.
I offend people all the time.
Yeah, exactly. As long as I'm not like belittling anybody or
Yeah.
being horrible to somebody or doing anything like that, then I think, you know, it's okay. And I'm never political or anything.
No,
or
we don't go
religious.
we don't do politics or religion. No, please
No.
don't go there.
Or sexual, any of those things.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Other than that, it's okay. Exactly. No, I love what you said. And Naomi said that's a great question, Jasmine. Thank you, Naomi. Exactly. No, I love what you've said. I mean, I've learned a lot today because, again, we you know, you could spend hours trying to create this post, but you're not really feeling it because it's taken you so long to create as well. And people are not going to resonate either. If you're not really resonating with it because it's not coming from your heart, how is anybody else going to?
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke to a guy, right? And he messaged me or something, and he said, "Oh, I'm really struggling with LinkedIn at the moment." And so I jumped on a call with him, and he said, "I'm really struggling with writing content. I'm doing it 7 days a week." And I said, "You're mad. You only need to do a few times a week." And he went, "Really? Oh, thank goodness for that. Oh, I thought you had to post every day." And I said, "No, you don't." He said, "That's really good because I come in here some days and I say, I wonder what rubbish I can write about today." And I said, "If you're thinking that, how do you think your readers are thinking?"
Oh, it's exactly.
He didn't use the word rubbish, but
No, you're absolutely right. Okay, one more question because we're running out of time. Naomi said,
we always do.
I know. Is keeping LinkedIn page active means posting every day?
No, you don't need to post every day. No, Naomi, please, no. But just show up every day. All right, Naomi.
What do you mean show up every day but not post?
Naomi's commented on this post. She's showing up today. All right. And what Naomi's going to do, and I know this for a fact, she is going to go and connect with me on LinkedIn. She's going to go and she's going to find me. All right. She's going to connect on my profile. All right. And she's going to write, "I loved your show today with Jasmine. Please, can we connect?" Something like that. That's what she's going to do. All right. Then what she's going to do, right? LinkedIn will automatically invite her to my newsletter. She's going to connect to that because it's going to give her 5 ideas, all right, on what to write content, all right, every single week. So every single Sunday, she's going to get an email, all right, with 5 ideas. All right.
Okay.
Then what she's going to do, she's going to look at my profile and she's going to see that I wrote about networking events today. All right. And she's going to go in there and go, "Oh, my favorite networking event is this." And she's going to write a little comment. All right. Now she might go to the Ladies That Lunch networking meeting where she is. And what she's going to do there, she can go in and she can tag Sally because Sally organizes it. And that's what makes the world go round on LinkedIn.
Amazing. No, thank you so much, Ashley. We're running out of time. But is there anything else you would like to say before you go? And how can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I am the 15-minute guy, and you don't need to be anything but yourself on LinkedIn. You get out what you put in.
Oh, I love that. And if you can put all your links on the post and everything, that would be amazing.
Absolutely.
And then people can just click on. And thank you so much, Ashley. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I've definitely learned a lot from this conversation. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you have any questions about LinkedIn, Ashley is the expert in this. Please message him directly or on the post and he will get back to you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks, Ashley. And see you all next week.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Ashley.